Hi everybody! No fun intro this week, you'll have to go with that. It is a gorgeous day outside. Lots of people are out enjoying the weather, but where is Matt? Oh, he tried benching without a spotter in his home gym. Does he have any regrets, you might ask? He wishes he could have taken out that second mortgage to get that error card. He would have loved to have written more mean reviews for terrible eBay sellers, and he would have liked to have his channel monetized. Please like and subscribe. Wait, what's this? Oh, he's fine. Enjoy this week's episode. Gotta keep you on your toes. If you don't know me, my name is Matt, and I like to talk about error Pokemon cards, and I rank them against each other. And I believe this is the most comprehensive series on YouTube, talking about Pokemon cards, especially the coolest ones, which are the error Pokemon cards. Now let's get right into this week's episode. Kicking off week 28, we have a Magikarp from Pokemon 151 that I am now calling the Ink Splash iCarp error. You can see there is a massive ink splash on top of the first portion of Magikarp on the top there. So you can just read iCarp. Now this is actually a repeating error. It's a very cool one and one that we've been seeing pop up more and more. While the ink splash may be in the same spot, if you look at from card to card, there actually is a little bit of variability there. So each one's not identical, but it's in nearly the same spot, and it's on enough of them where we can call it repeating. It's fun to see these repeating errors pop up in modern Pokemon cards. It's kind of like the fun of the vintage cards, where you know which ones to look for and where to look on the card for the error. That's what some of these are becoming. And this Ink Splash iCarp error sold for $38 this week. Average non-error price is 99 cents, and that makes the error value increase 3,738%. And that is good enough for number 7 this week on our list of EVI. Here we have a PSA 9 base set Ninetales with a Black Flame. Now we could call this a Black Flame variant actually, because there's enough of them around where it's not really an error. So variant is less rare but still rare. This one's fun because we actually have error prices per grade here. If you look to the right of me, I probably pointed the wrong way, you can see a grade 9 usually goes for $250. Well, this one sold for $190 this week. I get this pricing information from Price Charting, and sometimes they are a little bit behind the times. So who am I to say, or who are they to say really what the market price is? It could vary a little bit. But yes, this Pokemon card sold for $190 this week. That's pretty cool. Announcement. I have started a Discord. Several people have asked for this, so I thought this would be a fun place where we could answer error Pokemon card questions. You could announce and brag about some of your recent finds, and also I could do some more reliable channel announcements. So check the link in the description to join that Discord. Thank you. Next up, we have an Empoleon level X from Diamond and Pearl, and this is the Pokebody error. Look right below the art box on the left side of the card. Error card, it's green, and the non-error card, it's red. So this one is a repeating error, obviously, and it looks like it really does not affect the price too much. This one's a weird one for price, so from what I've seen, it seems like it's kind of almost 50-50 whether you have the red Pokebody or the green Pokebody. Yeah, so this card sold in the CGC 10 for $860. Price Charting has average non-error price for CGC 10 at around $4,800. This was one I was just, I was kind of made aware of this error a few weeks ago, and you see like ungraded price is $12, grade 2 is $3, once you get to grade 6 it's $3.25, and then you get to PSA, CGC, and BGS 10s, and they're in the thousands of dollars. I don't know if there's any other Pokemon card out there that really has that big of a price range between, ungraded and low grades versus the super high grades. I don't know why. Is it just because there is such a low population that maybe this is a harder card to grade? Certain parts of it really are susceptible to damage, and so that would impact the grading. Yeah, I don't know whether to say this was a fluke on the selling price or on the price that Price Charting has. I know one variable that could be, it looks like Probstein Auctions, looks like they're a consignment shop. They sold this in auction. And sometimes auctions don't sell for as much as they should. I always say, wait for the best accepted offer price, set it at a high price and let someone come give you a good offer and you'll usually get more money. So air value increase, negative 82%. Kind of a weird one, but at the end of the day, this card sold for $860, which is still a lot of money. Next up, we have a base set Charizard with a Hollow Bleed. Now, it doesn't look like a Hollow Bleed from this photo, does it? Well, I'm going to show you the video. There we go. So this seller sold a lot of Hollow Bleeds within the last week, and I believe a lot of them were like all from base set. You know, there's a wide variety of them. I'm not sure how they got this, but a very cool collection. Hollow Blade you cannot see usually unless the photo's at an angle or if you have a video. This one sold in auction for $585. That's pretty cool. You know, Charizard always sells for a lot. And 212% for an EVI for Charizards. Actually pretty good. So a cool sale this week, and you know I love Hollow Blades, especially vintage Hollow Blades. Here's another Charizard. We have Charizard V-Star with a cut and crimp error. Top of the card is crimped from the crimping machine that holds the cards in the pack, and it's also cut at a little bit of an angle. And this added I would say a decent amount of value to it. Again, Charizard's EVI is usually never that high, and so this one to get 417% for an error value increase, that's pretty solid. And this card sold for $150 this week. Look at that, another Charizard. It's like I planned it. I did. So here we have a Topps Charizard from Topps, as I just said, good lord. And this is, I believe, a repeating error. So the error is on the wing of Charizard. I call it the desaturated wing error. Again, I believe this is a repeating error, and it basically just impacts, what would that be, about 80% of Charizard's wing there. And it helped it sell for a decent bit more. Typically goes for around $69 for a grade 7, and this one sold for $200 this week. All right, next up we have another edition of Sam Finds the Error. With this one, I did not believe he could find the error with the error card by itself, so I'm giving him the non-error card and the error card, and we'll see how he does. Take it away, Sam.
Hello everybody, hi Matt, thanks so much for having me on again. I'm excited to guess this week's error Pokemon card. I've been told that this one is going to be particularly difficult, so I'm excited to try and do my best. Good luck to anybody else that's playing along at home, and let's get into it. Oh, and he gave me the non-error so that I can compare to see which one the error card is. Alright, so we got the non-error and the error card here. We're looking at Bulbasaur. I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that stands out are these little yellow lines right in the middle here that aren't on the non-error card. But it's hard to say if that's the error. I think that's it. If it's not that, man, I feel like I ended this way too quickly. But all right, good luck everybody else. I hope that you found it as quickly as I did.
Okay, I'm sure I had to edit this one down a little bit. I'm guessing he found it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Sorry, Sam, if I don't have much faith in you. This is a very subtle error, though. So here we have a Shadowless Bulbasaur with the Sunbeam error. Now, I've always heard of this error, and thinking back, I have not seen this error pop up in 28 weeks of me doing these episodes. 28 weeks, and you know, I was familiar with the error, but I didn't know it sold for this much. I guess that makes sense if it's this rare where it shows up, you know, twice a year. This Shadowless card sold for $309, and if it's not apparent yet, the error is there are yellow streaks of ink going across the top of Bulbasaur there. I'll add some arrows there just to show you. And good lord, $309 for this. That just shocked the hell out of me. I really didn't know. So I believe this will be one of the thumbnails for my video this week. Check your collection, see if you have this, because you may be sitting on a small fortune. $309 isn't a fortune, but that's a lot of money. And that's also a heck of an EVI. 7,137% for this Pokemon card, and that's actually good enough for number 2 this week on the list of EVI. Here we have a first edition Butterfree from Jungle set, and this is the D error. And look at this, here's actually the card I picked up last week. I got this sucker for $5. Look at that. Yeah, not to brag or anything. But this one got graded a PSA 10. I don't think mine's in that good of shape. Obviously, the error is on the D. Obviously, the error is on the 1 of first edition. Printer Hickey makes it look like a D. A pretty widespread error, I would say. In the description here, it says one of the most common errors found on Wizards of the Coast cards, which I would believe. And that's definitely reflected in the price. 38% for error value increase. So it's always cool to pick up one of these cards. You know, Raw, I would say, is probably the highest EVI you're going to get. $20 versus $4. But when you start going up to the higher grades for graded cards, you're not going to see that high of an EVI. So yeah, this card sold for $234. Had one bidder, and they got it. It looks like they got it a little bit below market price. Again, price charting can be off sometimes, but I would believe, you know, around that range is correct. Ooh, here's a cool one. Here we have a Screamtail. I don't know where this is from. It's a 2024 Pokemon card, so probably pretty recent. And this is a misaligned Hollow Layer. Pretty obvious what happened here. So the Hollow Layer got shifted down, and everything else stayed the same. And it kind of left a really cool shadow effect. Weird that a hollow would cause a shadow, but that's what it looks like. So I think the seller did it right. They listed it for $120, and you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. Or best offer. And someone came along, offered $60 for this Pokemon card, modern Pokemon card, and they accepted the price, and I believe both parties are happy, and definitely a very unique card, and so I would say this could be worth this money. I don't know of too many other errors like this. You know, there could be ones from the same exact sheet that got printed, so there could be other sales happening out there soon. But yeah, average non-error price is $1.28. So the EVI is 4,588%. And that's good enough for number 4 this week on our list of EVI. Here is a big ass Printer Hickey, if you ask me. Here we have an energy card from Legendary Collection, and this is like an Ink Splash times 2. This is, I would say, probably twice the size as that Magikarp error. Yeah, Printer Hickeys are usually just thought to have a, you know, like a little piece of dust got in the printing process, and so it leaves a little circle or something. I don't know what the heck happened here. If just a whole lot of dust collected, something happened where it left this really cool mark, and it actually covers up the whole word energy on the card. This one was listed for $89, had the best accepted offer price of $55, and this card landed at number 9 this week on the list of EVI, with 2,664%. Here's an interesting one. Here we have a base set Wartortle with the evolution box error. So look in the stage 1 in the top left of the card, and there is a mini Wartortle in there instead of Squirtle. It says $86 for average error price. I think that's about right, but sometimes if you see them in really good condition, they can actually sell for $100, if not a little bit more. This one was listed for $135, but had a best accepted offer price of $40. That's the cheapest I've seen this one go, and this card seems like it's in pretty good shape. Maybe a little nick on the bottom left of the card on the back there. But other than that, yeah, I'm surprised to see this go for as cheap as it did. This one didn't make the top 10 this week. 1,539% was not in the top 10, so that's surprising. You usually don't see an Evo Box Wartortle miss the top 10. Cool sale though, congrats to the buyer on this one. And also the seller, again, $40 for a Pokemon card, that's very solid. Here is another Hollow Bleed that doesn't look like it, but I'll show the video right now. Same seller, this one, a base set Blastoise, in good condition I might add. All these cards were in good condition. Sold for $150.50 this week. One of the three big three, and if you had to guess what is the third card that I'll be showing this week? I don't know, we'll see. 201% EVI, pretty solid, cool card. Let's get on to the next one. Here we have a first edition Ivy Pikachu, and that's the error. The first edition stamp should not be there. It was said that these were only found in 1 in 10 jungle booster boxes, and 1 in 10 doesn't seem that rare to me, but they always sell for so much gosh darn money. This one sold for $380 this week. I'm gonna give a little work to editor Matt. What is the most expensive non-hollow vintage card? I'm thinking either this or a first edition non-hollow Dragonite might be up there too. This has got to be up there though. $380 for a non-hollow raw Pokemon card. That's pretty cool. Average non-error price is around $8. So EVI is crazy, you know, 4,661%. But if this was like, you know, it went for $1 usually, that's where you see the 5-figure error value increases, which is, you know, always just mind-blowing. But yes, 4,661%. That's good enough for number 3 this week on our list of EVI. And boy, you always wonder, what would like a PSA 7 sell for this? Well, look no further. Here we have a first edition Ivy Pikachu PSA 7. This one sold for $724. 725 actually. You can see that is a little bit higher than the grade 7 price for the average error price for this. Again, that can fluctuate. The reason I put grade 7 is because price charting does not specify which grade it was from which company, and so it could be SGC, CGC, PSA, or BGS for those, and so that's kind of the average. I would say PSA probably usually goes for more. So yeah, $725 for this Pokemon card, 3,804% EVI. That's good enough for number 6 this week. Next up, we have a first edition Gengar from Fossil Set, and this is a Mirror Hollow, or the Incomplete Hollow Error. I usually say no sparkly stars, but you can see there are a few sparkly stars there on the card on the right, but that is still does not mean that this isn't a mirror hollow. This just, if you would shine the card back and forth, you would see that it has a mostly mirror hollow finish. I believe some parts of the hollow were missing, and so it does, yeah, give that more reflective finish. Gengar is one of the higher sellers in Fossil Set. I believe it's that and like the Dragonite. And so to see this be a mirror hollow, sell for $510, that's pretty solid. EVI is around 400%. Look at that, another one. But this one sold for $575, and the EVI was 461%. This card's in good shape too. I hope this gets graded. I know a lot of the different grading companies actually recognize an incomplete hollow error, and so yeah, let's see these get graded and sell them again. I'll talk about them in about 4 or 5 weeks. Oh, I love a base set 2 Blastoise. I have the other 2 big 3 for base set 2. I have a Charizard and a Venusaur. I do not have a base set 2 Blastoise, and I would like one. I would really like this one actually. So this is a fat bottom base set 2 Blastoise miscut. You can see an alignment dot in the bottom left corner on the front of the card. And this is where I get confused, because I think you should see an alignment dot in the exact same spot on the back of the card. Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that. I don't know. But what an awesome card. This one got graded to CGC 6. Got that error stamp. Yeah, not much more to say about it. Boy, I love this card. I would love to get some of these more severe miscut vintage cards at some point. $300. EVI is 346%. Speaking of miscut cards, here we have the Ancient Mew with a pretty darn good sized miscut. A fat bottom once again. I hope I'm playing that bass music. I think that's hilarious. This one sold for $200. It's pretty solid. Again, you won't see boy, you won't even see a raw Nintendo error sell for this much. So to see a miscut Ancient Mew like this, it's pretty cool. I don't see any alignment. Oh no, I do. So this one, it looks like on the front of the card in the bottom right, right above that line, there's an alignment plus. They don't have alignment dots on this card. It's alignment plus, which is even cooler. Awesome card. Love to see it. Let's go on to the next one. Hey, Nintendo error. I track the prices of PSA 10 Nintendos because it is pretty consistent. And this is like the third one in the last couple weeks I've seen sell for $1,030. I don't know why that price. That might be the new market price. Again, maybe the price is shifted down a little bit for this. Price charting usually says around $1,200 is the average, but again, I've just proven that wrong. Facts are friends when it comes to Pokemon card opinions on pricing. Yeah, error value increase is 250%, and like I said, $1,030 seems to be the going rate for this card. Ooh, next up we have a no damage Ninetales. This is a repeating error for the Shadowless Ninetales. Under Fire Blast there on the right, it should say 80, and that is missing. One of the cooler repeating errors, and also one that sells for a gosh darn good amount of money. This one sold for $390 this week. Average non-error price is $23.37. And the error value increase is 1,569%. And that's good enough for number 10 this week on our list of EVI. Next up, we have a sealed first edition Machamp from base set. This is a promo card, and this one has the Matrix Hollow error, or the Screen Hollow error, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, so I see here, it says a yellow screen. I'm not sure if that's yellow. It looks white to me. It could be yellow. Whatever it is, it looks like matrix lines are it looks like matrix lines are running down the hollow portion of the card. And believe it or not, this is a repeating error. And very cool to see a sealed card have a repeating error. You'll love to see it. This one was listed for $200, had a best accepted offer price of $100. And we bopping and rolling, look at that. Here we have a Shining Magikarp from Neo Revelation, PSA 9, and this is a double hollow variant. Way to tell with this one, you see more hollow, and the Magikarps in the background are just covered in that hollow. This one was listed for $1 grand, but had the best accepted offer price of $755. EVI 116%. Stainmon probably my favorite repeating error name. This is a first edition Hitmonlee from Fossil set with a cigar stain error, or as I like to call it, Stainmon. This one is a repeating error, but it can range in severity. It says here on the description, so very severe errors can actually go all the way up to the foot of Hitmonlee and all the way down to the bottom of the card. I'm not sure if I've seen that severe. I've definitely seen it cover the high and high jump kick, but to see one that far, I definitely think that would increase the price a good amount. But even this one, which is, I would say maybe in the middle, if not less severe, this one sold for $325 this week. Had an EVI, which is very respectable, of 781%. And I get why price charting doesn't have pricing for this, again, because I think the price of the card is kind of dependent on the severity of the card too, and so I get why they don't show this. So here we have a test card from Trick or Trade, and this is a Pikachu. This set was released in 2023. Was not really a fan of it, but I am a fan of this card. Here we have a Pikachu that you can barely see. So you see a lot of hollow here, which leads us to believe that this is the reverse hollow version of this card. And boy, what would that be? 30% opacity for the details of this card. And it's square cut and got graded a CGC 8. That's pretty cool. These are pretty darn rare. I always love seeing, just like what Pokemon does to test to see what a card would look like and everything, and just like the process it goes through before it's the final version of the card. Average non-error price is pretty darn low, $14 for a grade 8 for this card, and so that leaves the error value increase 2,727%, and that's good enough for number 8 this week on our list of EVI. I love that. I need to do that more. Oh, here's an expensive one. Next up, we have a first edition Typhlosion from Neo Genesis. This got graded a PSA 9. So already you're talking a lot of money. Again, average non-error price, $830 for this. But this one sold for $3,500 because of that red dot. Now, the red dot is right next to the Neo Genesis stamp on the middle right of the card. This is a repeating error. It's called the red dot Typhlosion, and it's been found on at least a dozen. I never really believe when they say a certain number of cards for this. I believe it's on probably more than that. This is an incredible card. $3,500 for PSA 9 repeating error. Wow. Yeah, as I said, average non-error price, $830. So EVI is 321%. Now that doesn't sound too, impressive, but when you're talking adding thousands of dollars of value to a card because of a tiny little red dot and it's repeating, I think that's pretty darn special. Hey look, here's the third Hollow Bleed from the same seller. Shout out to Acorn Collectibles. I'm gonna have reached out to you. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are watching, please subscribe. You should, and everyone else should. I'm winking a lot this episode. But yes, let's show that video. So here we have a base set Venusaur with a Hollow Bleed, and again, cards in great shape, and love to see vintage Hollow Bleeds. This one sold for $202.50 this week. Sold in auction 14 bidders. That's awesome. I love Venusaur. It's my favorite Pokemon. Look at that, another Ancient Mew. Here we have a skewed miscut or a wonky miscut Ancient Mew. This one got graded a CGC 9. They call it a minor miscut. I'm not sure if they have a name, CGC, if they have a name for a twisted miscut like this. But this one was listed for $199, had the best accepted offer price of $130. With how unique this card is, it's cool to see it miscut in different ways. Like we saw, I had that fat bottom, or now it's twisted, and definitely the back of the card just looks cool when it's twisted like that. I like it a lot. Next up, we have a Leafeon V, and this is a severe miscut. I don't know what the heck CGC would call it. I don't like their grading names for it. I call a severe miscut where you can see another portion of a card on this, and you can see this is shifted far enough down where there's another card on the top. It looks like a little bit of a pinker purple right there. And you see 2 alignment dots on the top left portion of the card. That's cool. It's not too often where you see 2 alignment dots like a centimeter from each other. And this miscut helped it sell for a lot of money. 10 bidders on this. It sold for $68. Average non-error price is $1.50 just about. And so the error value increase is 4,316%. That's good enough for number 5 this week on the list of EVI. Alright, here is one that I always love talking about, just because of the backstory of it. So here we have a Electabuzz promo card from the first Pokemon movie, and this is the inverted stamp error. Now how this error came about, there was one single sheet, 120 Pokemon cards that had this inverted stamp error, which means there was Electabuzz, Mewtwo, Pikachu, and Dragonite. So all of those, there's only 30 in the world of each of them. 30, 30, 30, 30 equals 120. So this Electabuzz is one of 30, and by golly, that price is definitely reflected. Look at that, $850. So they sold this, or they listed it for $2,300. I think they did that perfectly right. I've seen some sell for $1,500, $2,000. If they're in pretty good shape. This one you can see is not in the best shape, but again, it's one of 30. So this one sold for $850. I know I was talking about before what non-holo Pokemon card would sell for the most. It's this one. I think that conversation is done, especially with how rare this is. But I'm still curious to see what I put for that before. Error value increase is a cool 21,150%. Tricked ya. Got in before you thought I was going to do it. Yeah, that is so much money. My goal in life is to be able to purchase one of these one day. Ultimate goal is to find one out in the wild. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, with how rare it is. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But at some point, I hope I'm in a position where I can purchase a card like this. Maybe if I ever get that YouTube revenue from being monetized because I have enough subscribers and watch time. I don't know. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Weird for me to say that at the end, but yes, so this Electabuzz is number 1 this week. It sold for $850, average non-error price $4, crazy high EVI. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Boy, I had a lot of energy filming this one this week. I don't know why. It's 1:30 p.m. and it's hot as hell out, but enjoyed filming it. I really hope you guys enjoy watching this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I reply to every comment. Also, let me know if there's any other videos you want to see. I tried one out where I kind of cleaned the streets of eBay. I have some other video ideas, but let me know if there's something you want me to film, and I'll probably film it. Until next week, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.